real has been infiltrated. All identities are burnt. Sanitization has begun. You must listen. You must understand.
I fucking love this shit. Millions of years ago, like way back in the 1900s, the world was blessed with spy movies. And we've been ripping masks and spitting poisonous darts ever since, baby. There's no real very first spy movie. A lot of people say it's the 1919 German classique, The Spiders. About an Indiana Jones guy who's not Indiana Jones. Not doing Indiana Jones things. Fun fact, we lost it for a little while. 80 years, but we found it again, it's all good. But others say, ooh, that it was the 1935 hit, The 39 Steps by big old Freddie Hitchcock himself, that truly defined the genre. Ew. This Mamma Jamma is broadly considered a masterpiece of Hitchcock and tells a story of a Canadian man trapped in England. Awful stuff. And he's trying to get back government secrets. Ooh. In my humble opinion, the 39 Steps really defined what the columns for a spy movie were going to be going forward. It had gadgets, guns, disguises, suits, specs and tech, and one sexy motherfucker to bring it all together, baby. Now, the genre continued to evolve throughout the ages. Thousands of years passed, and eventually we got to the Cold War, and everything just became paranoid as fuck. Spy films began taking on like a dark and gritty feel with good guys who might be bad guys, but also might be good guys. Who knows? I'll never tell. After its angsty teen phase of just lashing out and being ridiculous, we hit and morphed through the 60s and 70s, and it really came into its blockbusting stride, and my god, it was busting all over the place. Ew. This era saw the rise of the pretty underground cult franchise, Jamiroquai Blondanius. It's okay if you haven't heard of it. Not a lot of people have. It's pretty low key. Jamesoni and Blondanius was really where the genre started getting its globe-trotting villains and its exotic locations and its one sexy man that can pick up a fun shot. Well, this was all fun and games. It was seriously time to fucking stop messing around, fucking get it together. The 80s and the 90s were here, baby, to make everything super political and super realistic. Everyone and their mums was trying to be the most realistic spy guy. To be fair, this did give us The Hunt for Red October, and Sean Connery again, and
I'm a politician, which means I'm a cheat and a liar. And when I'm not kissing babies, I'm stealing their lollipops. But it also means...
Oh Lord, Tom Clancy, I place my hand on your book and pray for holy salvation. As we evolve through the decades of millions and trillions of years later, we hit the 2000s, and that was just when the sickest shit happened. Kyle would be very happy. Playing with the big dogs. We got Bourne.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
We got Tom Cruise.
I think that's right.
Bond again. And we got Mr. and Mrs. Spies. I can't read my script. Honestly, it was a great decade. It was a great decade. We had some pretty cool shit. Like here, and here, and that one there, and this one here, and that one there. Oh my god, get away. But some of them was coming.
What did he say?
Like a faint, stinky smell of doo-doo was coming. When you have a decade as like genre defining as the 2000s, it's kind of inevitable that more and more titles aren't gonna be dinging their head on that fucking bar that they just placed in the hallway. With Mission Impossible and I'm not afraid to say that I love Mission Impossible 3 and James Bond and
Jason Bourne.
putting the bar in the goddamn stratosphere, like out of frame. It's no wonder that some real stinkers were gonna start poking their stinky little dirt face around. Just crop dusting the house, you know, just ew, stinky. Like Vin Diesel and Ice Cube just decided to commit fucking war crimes against the audience and release XXX. 2 movies, Get Out of My House, and then movies like G-Force were just... Why am I pointing up here? Movies like G-Force were just fucking holding the genre hostage in the back of a van with a shotgun. The rise of action, adventure, spy, comedy, let's just put any fucking genre all together and just hope that it sticks. There's one caveat. It did give us Spy Kids, and without that, I wouldn't be able to call people that I hate Thumb Thumbs. So, thank you. With such a generational run, it's definitely no surprise that that sweet, stinky smell of doo-doo fart just became a freaking tidal wave of big shit like my camera. And then we hit the 10s, and it was just the decade of the fucking reboot, and let's pull these corpses out for one more rodeo, baby. They started out with trying to bring back Bourne, with Mr. fucking mobile apps himself, Jeremy Renner. That didn't work. Oh, someone let out a fucking mental patient who rebooted Spy Kids, and there was no Thumb Thumbs in it, so that was an immediate 0 out of 10. Had the fucking Red movies, which was just a weekend at Bernie's with Sylvester Stallone and guns. And then Vin Diesel implemented another terrorist plot and brought back frickin' XXX again as he plays Sonder Cage. And then made the Fast and Furious franchise like a pseudo fucking for the whole family. But while it was getting a damn rough in those underground bases with biochemical research and birds, there was one franchise who stood their ground through the fire and the flames with their head held high, just screaming, I'm still standing. Mission Impossible, whether you like it or not, has been carrying the spy thriller action genre for like 20 years now, and I don't know how Tom's back isn't broken yet, considering he's 62.
Many people don't actually know this, but Mission Impossible was actually a TV show in the 60s and in the 80s, and they actually did this really cool thing where the villain from the first movie was actually the main character in the TV show.
I'm told at the time this really pissed off quite a few retirement homes. I think it was a good idea. For the time, I think it was a great commentary on like how even that fucking real cool hero that you just love from your favorite show, if he loses too many times, he's gonna fucking flip, bro. Flipping fucking burgers at McDonald's. It's a theme the franchise like harkens back to throughout a lot of the later movies. Like, I think 2 is the only one Ethan's even fucking working for the IMF, so like everyone's rogue, everyone's going rogue, baby. It just shows that like not even the sick as fuck IMF agents that we like cheer on throughout the movies are infallible. Except for one, of course, as fucking none are as sick and as fucking cool and sexy and smart as Ethan Cunt Hunt, baby. Mr. Tom Cruising for a bruising himself. Fucking geriatric nutcase was 50 learning how to helicopter corkscrew, halo jump, fucking tying himself to a plane as it took off, breaking his ankle in the process, just continuing to do shit. Like, If I was a director, I'd be fucking terrified to pay insurance on this movie. In all seriousness though, the crew for Mission Impossible and Tom himself and the producers and the studio are like literally doing so much to keep the spectacle of stunt work and action alive in movies. Thank you so much. Love you. Hard cut. No other freaking genre of movie, MIO, has had such an insane impact on fucking music than the spy genre. Some of the rock hardest tracks in history have come from the spy genre. They are going to dig up relics of the past and it's going to be a fucking CD with James Bond music on it and they're going to know what it is. They'll be like, oh, I love this song. And when those like Mission Impossible strings come in like, you just fucking know you're in for like 2 hours of gasolina. And also, it gave us Limp Bizkit's Take a Look Around. Like, that is one of the hardest... You just fucking took the Mission Impossible theme and you put it in a guitar riff. Holy shit. Genius idea.
Now I know why you wanna hate me, 'cause hate is all the world's even seen lately. I know why you wanna hate me. Let's fucking go.
I'm dying. Also, we wouldn't have, like, with our spy movies, we wouldn't have that fucking chase scene from Jason Bourne 1 where, like, they get in the Mini Cooper and he's like, are you sure you want to do this? And she locks the door and then fucking Ready, Steady, Go by Paul Oakenfold starts playing. Holy shit. Like, what are we going to do without them? Because, like, I don't know, people aren't freaking hyper fixated like me. I don't know if you know this, but like Mission Impossible, the last one, comes out May 23rd this year. It's curtain call. And that's kind of like it. Don't get me wrong, like the spy genre has continued to have brilliant films throughout the last... We've had great one-offs like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Winker Wanker Solar Stater and other ones. I'll put them up here. But in the like franchise department, we are COVID levels of understocked. It was looking promising for a while. Like Kingsman was looking cool, and then Matt Vaughn had a fucking psychotic break and just fucked it all up. Seriously, lock that man away. I watched Argyle a few weeks ago, and how can you do that to Sam Rockwell? And yeah, like we do have like an impending James Bond announcement coming some kind. But even with the latter half of Craig's films falling pretty flat, it's really hard to like have any kind of faith in them as a franchise. Like Casino Royale was fucking incredible. I was like, we're off to a killer start. And then Quantum of Solace was like, it's good, it's great, it's not nearly as good as Casino Royale. And then the other two, Skyfall and Spectre, were just like... And it's sad because like it's not for the industry's lack of trying. Like they are clawing at the walls to try get something to fucking stick. Like we had The Grey Man by the Russo brothers, and it is just becoming so apparent how much they relied on the 10 years of MCU build up because that movie was hot doo-doo shit, and not even Chris Evans or Ryan Gosling could save that shit. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I love you. Heart of Stone was like advertised and lauded as like a Mission Impossible with a female lead, but if you're gonna cast a female lead, maybe don't go with the plank of wood Mrs. Gal Gadot herself. It's scary for me to like wonder where this genre goes from here, because like this has been such an engrossed part of my life for so long now. Like I used to watch and rewatch again all these movies with my dad when I was younger, and like watching them all blink out one by one is like definitely not fucking cool. And now with Mission Impossible ending, it feels like my last friend is like leaving school, and I'm like, I'm by myself, alone in a dark room. Anyway, thanks for watching. I've been Guy, and this has been Video.